thing, really. They ban out Syndra, they ban out Xerath, keep What the Fox off his comfort champion tier because he's not really had the impact that SKP need from him in these two games. Other side, SK Gaming Prime have switched up a little bit. They're going to take the Ari away from Febiven. He's been hitting charms left, right, and center, really dominating. Nidalee taken away by H2K. Question now is, with that Lucian ban, is he going to be a Kassadin ban? No, they ban out Orianna, so it leaves Kassadin open. The question is, though, will H2K actually go for that, or will they just say, you know what, big tanky tree in the top lane, that's what we're going to take? Or will they even go towards the jungle and get Rengar for Trashy? Yes, they will.
Okay, so they really want Rengar here for Trashy. He has to perform because they gave up Maokai for it. And even the Kassadin. That is quite a trade. And now there's no question of is the Kassadin going to be top lane, mid lane. He's going to be mid lane. You're going to have Maokai top lane. Which means you're looking at two very, very strong late game team fighters here from SK Prime already. Just mean, however, so the support is left open again.
Yes, Morgana straight away over to AOD, and surprise, surprise, Yharnam will take Kog'Maw, and they get that super strong duo lane once again.
So Z's and Zaitan actually did well in the laning phase on Tristan in the last game. As expected, got a small CS lead, but it doesn't matter if you don't completely shut down Yharnam or get a lot of kills on Z's and his Tristan early on to skip like the mid-game point. Because SK Prime, oh sorry, H2K, as soon as he got the team fights, Yharnam just picked up all the kills on for his hyper carry and got the Trinity Force early, got Blade of the Rune King early, and just pretty much dominated the game. I mean, 8-0-8. Can't complain. And of course, AOD and Morgana once again to set up all the bindings.
We're going to see Corki picked up though for Z's this time around again, and Jarvan also falling into the hands of Kikis. His favorite champion, it's obviously quite clear on that one. He picks his Jarvan whenever he really can. However, game number one, his Jarvan didn't have the impact, well, didn't have any real impact apart from feeding kills over in towards H2K's hands. We'll see if he can do it better this time around though.
And we can see SK Prime learned something from the last game, where it took Kassadin and Tristana together, so you have two weak mid-game champions together here, which means you can't do anything in mid-game. Now they're actually taking the Corki pick, which is very smart because they can use these now to kind of carry them through the mid-game and get to the late game point. So I really like the fact they adjusted. Now I like the Kassadin pick a lot more compared to last game.
Well, we see that H2K have said, right then, late game it is, guys. Picking up Ryze and Mundo.
Whoa. Okay, H2K, full late game here. Both Ryze and Mundo really needs to scale up here into the late game. So SK Prime with the Corki pick could be looking to set up some kills and try and snowball a little bit. Still Kassadin of course wants to get a few items as well, but Marco is one of the better tanks in the mid game too. So we switch back once again. Game 1, SK Prime had the strong mid game. Game 2 was H2K. Now we're back to SK Prime, but H2K is really, really looking scary in the late game.
Final pick for SK Prime going over to Zaitan, who's favoured Thresh in these last couple of games and not looked too bad on Thresh either, honestly. Going for Nami this time.
Yeah, this is lane dominance. I really like Nami against Morgana as long as you dodge around the bindings, because you can break her Black Shield with your W and therefore land the bubbles, and also your AD carry, because you provide your E from Nami and the heal onto him, will automatically win the trades with the other AD carries. So I like Nami into Morgana here. And SK Prime looking for lane dominance in the bottom lane. Looking most likely to have Kikis being very aggressive early on Jarvan, where Rengar has to farm up to level 6 before he can really start ganking. So it opens up for Kikis now to help What the Fox and Kassadin in the mid lane. Make sure he gets a good start. Top lane Maokai should be fine by himself.
So guys, as the players get ready for this third game, tell us who you think will win. And all you have to do is tweet to @LOLesports. I forgot myself how you could do it there. Hashtag H2K win or hashtag SKP win. And we'll see how you voted in just a moment. Game 1, 50-50. Game 2, I think was 60-40 there or thereabouts.
84% to H2K, my prediction.
84% to H2K. That's a very precise number that you're going for.
It's boring just say 85. So 84, because I'm hardcore.
Wow. Hardcore Deficio
Yeah.
going 84%. We'll see how that vote is going to go. I mean, it's hard to say at this stage that H2K might not win it. They're 2-0 up. It's a best of 5. They've got 3 opportunities, technically, to close out this game and become the summer playoff champions. Let's find out if they can do it in 3 or whether SK Gaming Prime are going to start the long comeback here in this best of 5 game as we get into game number 3. With H2K now switching back over onto the blue side and going for a full-on late game, a scary late game comp, if they can get there.
Yes. If they can get there. Well, in game 1, it was kind of the same deal where SK Prime had the stronger mid game, and yet H2K just managed to pick up so many early kills on Febiven in the mid lane. You kind of just ignored the whole, okay, who has a better comp in the game? All of a sudden, Febiven was just better than everyone else and helped carry the game for H2K. Let's see what I can do here. Normally I actually like Ryze into Kassadin because you can lock him up with the Rune Prison and set up some good ganks, especially when you have a Rengar. Ryze goes in, locks him up, easy setup for Rengar to land his snare, and
30 seconds until minions
you just kill him. Same deal again, man. 5 goals.
Same old thing. It becomes a little bit obvious when you've managed to land it twice in a row. Go in there, stick another binding in the Death Brush, and land it onto Zaitan. And AOD, I wish we had a way of finding out the accuracy of his Dark Bindings, because I think it'd be pretty damn high over the course of these last 2 games. H2K actually setting up with 3 men on top side. That'll be 4 in a sec when Cogmore gets there. Is this going to be a delayed invade onto the red buff, which would find them a Kikis and a Smithy J if they do?
I do like the fact that H2K really respect the fact they're against Korkinami, don't want to deal with this very, very annoying lane. So they're looking for the lane swap and make sure Yanan can actually farm early. And also, Mundo will do fine in a 1v2. Can run around with Trashy in the jungle and farm. So let's see, lane swap from H2K, dodging around Korkinami. We'll be able to get the red buff, but should also just be standard trade. Kikis can take his own blue buff and go to enemy red buff after.
Trashy taking a bit of damage there from that sapling that was thrown over by Smithy, but not really too much to write home about. Red buff stalling away. We'll see if Kikis can cross over the jungle and actually manage to steal that one away to get that trade-off in the buffs at this early stage. Smitty J, though, in this 1 versus 2. Always have to be careful. Those bindings have been accurate by AOD.
And really
continue to land them.
Really pushing the lane here early on, so Yanan is going to be able to hard freeze it and just deny all the farm from Smitty and force him into the jungle if he actually wants to get any farm. Because he's pushing it early with saplings, he can't push it out alone. And we already see now he's just stuck at his own tower, being zoned away from all the CS.
So Kikis then is going to pull with his flag that red buff into the brush and should be able to take this one away. Rengar and Mundo won't be coming down there just yet. They're just tag teaming their own jungle. Let's see if Kikis, yeah, he will finish off the entire camp. So have the timing on the enemy red buff. Needs to be very careful here though where he's going to go. He puts a ward down just in time to spot them. Trashy could have jumped out there, did jump out, and wow, flashed away. Look at this, Febiven has popped his ghost. He could flash in here to get that combo down. Doesn't even need to, he's got the speed boost. That's a good bubble, but Kikis, is he going to be enough? It is! Febiven picks up the first blood. Over the top of the wall went Kikis, but it's not enough, and he goes for the red buff invade, gets it, and then loses it straight away to Febiven along with the blue.
All because he wanted to ward around the Wraith camp, so he moved up there, and then H2K just jumped him. Kassadin was pushed into the tower, so What the Fox wasn't able to help. Now you have double buff on Ryze. He already pushed into the lane. He's just gonna keep doing it, keep poking What the Fox. He's gonna need help in here.
Kikis has now respawned in. Quick death timers this early on. And that gives an instant 600-700 gold over to H2K's lead. Not the greatest of starts here for SK Gaming Prime. Need to keep their focus here because they've got to win 3 games in a row against a team who have been just dominating them in these previous 2.
Every single team fight in the past 2 games have gone in favor of H2K. Dragons is mainly gone to them as well. And now Kikis up in his top lane. They need to push out the lane here so Smitty can actually get some proper farm. He's been doing a fine job, always walking into XP range and just throw down his sapling to kill a few minions. And now Kikis and Zaitan is coming up here to help him push it out.
Okay, need to be careful here. Zaitan now moving in there. They don't know that Kikis is there. Oh, flash in, actually going to go for Hyanan, and he will just flash away very quick to get that flash off. And now Trashy and Odo Amne coming up here. Will there be anything on the table for them? I don't think so. And actually decide against it. They might try and go mid, you know.
But that was a very delayed bubble by Zaitan. I mean, instant flash route from Smitty. You just have to beat it of the bubble if you need to flash bubble. Otherwise, there's no way Hyanan can actually go down. But did force the flash or trade flashes between top lane and AD carry. So maybe SK Prime want to try and set something up here. It's going to be hard because H2K have sent a lot of members to the top lane all of a sudden.
Are they going to dive it? I don't think so with Kikis there with that bubble and the root from Maokai. That would be a very dangerous dive at this stage. And actually Odo Amne, he's just going to TP down to the bottom lane. Now decides it's time to get that farm going. And actually considering that he's been just tagging along in the jungle this entire start of the game, has managed to come into that one versus one as it actually is down bottom, with a tie in terms of CS to that of Smitty J, who's been in this lane the entire time. Of course, the level advantage goes to Smitty J because of all that experience that he's managed to soak up from the lane. And he's going to keep the babysit going here, having Zaitan just sitting inside of that rush to keep him out of harm's way.
Yeah, so I'm going to get some farm, going to get some XP. Of course, have to share it, but it means Z's down his bottom lane because he's all alone. He's going to be very high, or be actually very far ahead in XP compared to Hyanan. So it could be a big factor in the first team fight we might see around the dragon, where Corki will be ahead and also will be stronger. So honestly, SK Prime can be happy enough, making sure Smitty can farm. Still what the Fox in this mid lane. Gonna farm on the tower, and actually been doing a fine job, even though he was against a double buff Ryze. But just been pushed into the tower, as you normally see with Kassadin, and didn't run teleport actually, took Ignite this time.
So, Odo Amne in that 1v1 down bottom, taking a lot of poke from Z's, who's now hit level 6, so he's gonna have rockets to back up those auto attacks and his phosphorus bomb that he's been throwing Odo Amne's way. Mondo, though, will be hitting 6 soon here, so it makes it harder to actually shut him down. Kikis is moving, as is Zaitan, so either Dragon attempt now with the advantage of the lane positioning with the duo of H2K up top. There we go, started off here, will be a 3-man Dragon, 7.5 minutes into the game. This is going to be going over to SK Gaming Prime. Nothing for H2K here.
And that was just a matter of time because the dual lane from H2K was up on the top side. SK Prime delayed taking the Dragon just to make sure Smitty could actually farm and get some XP up there. Now they just took the Dragon because, again, the dual lane from H2K was stuck in the top side in the tower. Not even close to going down. So Dragon for nothing actually here for SK Prime.
As well, going to go over to What the Fox. He's actually making a lot of damage on that one. I had to tank up the Dragon just before, but I brought SK Gaming Prime right back into it when it comes to gold. I'll pretty much tie up this game when it comes to the gold count. 69 to 62 CS as well there, so he's done a fine job. I mean, we said before we started off this game that Z's and Zaitan had a few troubles, especially in that semi-final win against Ninjas in Pajamas. They struggled a little bit in the laning phase as a duo. There's, to be honest, not been much sign of that here. If we think back to that last game, did a fine job with the Tristan and managed to get himself farmed up quite nicely. Obviously had it easy this game around, but there's What the Fox again getting burst down by Febivan.
Keep in mind they've had the better lane matchup in the past 2 games, and now of course with the lane swap. But it's their play style for SK Prime. They always want to have a dominating bottom lane, make sure they can win it. They normally use it to take objectives, and also why we see Corki, Ezreal coming out of Z's, and also why SK Prime always is so aggressive, because they know, okay, we're not picking these late game AD carries, we're picking these mid game ones, so we have to make plays. Which is why if the bottom lane lose from SK Prime, all of a sudden they have nothing. They don't have a good mid game, they don't have a good late game, and therefore can't do anything, and will just end up losing the game. So back to standard lanes here. H2K, pretty late they actually decided to swap back, which also resulted in the fact that Dragon went down for SK Prime without even the tower going down in his top lane. Could have swapped down earlier and just made sure nobody could actually go Dragon.
There's another max range binding landing onto Z's. been a bit of a thorn in their side on that front so far this best of 5 as AOD. What's the plan here? Kick is moving actually towards the middle lane. Rise uses Ghost earlier on when they got that first blood, has got that now back up, so shouldn't have too much problem avoiding them if that were to be the case. If Kikis were to go in on that one, but we see Trashy, or maybe the point is we've not seen Trashy much. He's been farming up like a beast, 41 to 28 CS. And
he didn't have to do anything other than show himself top lane once a few minutes ago, and otherwise just go back to the jungle because there's not been any ganks from Kikis. The laners are farming well, February doing a good job in the mid lane. On the top lane, Mundo as well, just one-on-one farming against the Maokai now. So not really been any reason for Trashy to do anything. And we talk about how Kikis could be very aggressive early on Java here while Rengar needs to get level 6. There was none of it because the lane swap, therefore Trashy can just be happy.
He just popped his ultimate there. That was a little bit of a weird scenario. Kikis actually going to chase him in. There's a Cataclysm coming down. Here comes the rest of the team, and Trashy, not sure what the plan really was there. He was spotted on top of the ward, knew that Kikis was around the corner, popped his ultimate, I think, to make Kikis feel that he's just going to back away. But strange one, that one was. And that gives a kill over, funnily enough, to Zaitan, the support. I'm sure that Corki would have really liked that one.
True here. Trashy was probably just trying to set up a 2v2 with Fepivan, while Kikis actually goes in for the gank and just gets smacked in the face and has to go back to base, to be honest.
Yeah, no combo, no Cataclysm after you use it on that last kill. And Fepivan just says, okay then, I'm just going to literally throw everything I've got at you. Fepivan, of course, after getting the kill earlier on, able to get himself an early tier to get that stacking up. That Catalyst, the Protector, already in there as well. So he's had a pretty nice time of it in that lane. Obviously helps when you get a double buff right at the start of the game as well.
So up in this top lane, we're probably not going to see a lot of action, just farming for both the super tanks, looking for the team fights instead, actually killing each other, sustain on both Mundo and Maokai. Makes it pretty much impossible to kill each other, alone at least. The junglers might join in. It's coming now.
Like a prophet, Deficio. And is he going to be able to get over there? Does have his ultimate available in just a second. There it is, but he's already backed away. So Trashy not going to get involved in that one. As I said before, being focused on getting his farm going. Slightly weird kill that he gave up earlier on, but has managed to get himself up to almost 50 CS. Already got 20 stacks building up towards his Feral Flare as well.
Yeah, pretty good start for him. H2K as well, getting the farm they need onto the carries. They are, of course, looking for late game. While SK Prime will look with his Corki pick here to try and punish it in the mid game. So next dragon coming up in 40 seconds. I'm not sure if H2K actually wants to fight for it. Or if they just want to say, okay, we respect the Corki, we're happy farming in the lanes at the moment. Of course, you can't give up too many objectives, but you also have to decide. Mundo already has some tanky items. Will need a Spirit Visit before the fight though.
See the Rod of Ages coming across the board as well. One for Cassidy, one for Maokai, one for Rise as well. All pretty much at exactly the same time. 12.5 minutes in, they started coming down. Now that dragon is going to be coming up now in 10 seconds. You see H2K already moving in to get some vision down.
We do have Rod of Ages and Tia ready for Fepivan, so he's looking just to scale up here, 13 minutes in. SK Prime instantly just moving towards this dragon. Wanna maybe even go for a kill here.
Oh, AOD caught out completely. He's going to get his ultimate running. There's a TP coming behind him. What if Fox goes low? Actually, they're going to go aggressive towards Yarden, who's got no mana left. He's down as well. Zaitan will actually pick up that kill to go 2-0-1 this entire time as well. Kikis has just gone into the back of the dragon pit. We'll take that one away. Rengar's not close enough. This is the second dragon of the game going over to SK Prime with the 2 kills as well.
Yeah, so H2K here sent 2 members from the mid lane and 2 members from the bottom lane up towards the dragon. But then everyone kind of stopped, and you never really want to split up, especially not this early on. It simply went for SK Prime. As soon as they saw 2 members from H2K completely out of position, you have a Cassidy, he jumps in and slows. You have a Nami to follow up engage. Easy for them to get 2 kills here, get the dragon as well. And that was just perfect. I was thinking about just SK Prime getting the dragon alone, and they would be happy. 2 kills and a bot tower as well. Pretty good.
Ghana didn't flash there either. He could have flashed much earlier and probably just got himself out of that one, but I guess I was thinking they're just going to dive me on the tower anyway, even if I go for that one. Top laners, of course, did get involved in that one. Smitty went down. Romney got himself back up to that lane just before he did that, so let's see how that one all works out. Now Kikis is going to visit once again. However, Odo Omni, ultimate available, and is also right underneath his turret.
Yeah, and no healing reduction either from SK Prime to actually dive him here. They're gonna need either What the Fox or Zaitan to be there if they actually want to just try and burst down Mundo. They might try and force his flash at least, or maybe they're waiting for counter game. They're going in now. Let's see what they can do.
Well, he's just regen, so no ulti available. He's got his flash there, but where's he going to go? Maybe off towards Morgana, but this is going to be hard for him. There's a slow cataclysm. Last second flash. Smitty's going to follow though. Slow will come down. Black shield is on him. Sapling won't be enough.
That's just
Where's he
going to
go? What the Fox comes in now, and that is going to be the finisher. It's a Rift Walk that finishes it. Are they going to dive AOD under the tower? Smitty J is pretty low, and he's now going to be tanking up that turret as well. Doesn't really matter. They switch off the aggro to What the Fox, and that will be another 2 kills for SK Gaming Prime, coming out strong this game.
Yeah, so the fact that Odiano was actually kiting around and didn't die simply meant they bought enough time for What the Fox to move up on Kassadin, probably the best champion to get kills on, to just go in, finish him, even get an assist now on to AOD as well. So SK Prime, now the team making the moves, the aggressive plays, and the early to mid-game, and it's paying off. Just gonna see it again. On to Odo here. They didn't want to dive him, so they're waiting for him to move out to the minions. There's no healing reduction to actually kill him instantly. There's actually no ult, so I'm not sure what I'm talking about. Anyway, he managed to flash away. He's so low, and that's actually perfect now for SK Prime, because What the Fox is just gonna come in. Look at the poor Odo and say, okay, I'm gonna take a kill, and...
Oh, wow, speaking of kills, they just, I was going to say dove under the tower, but they were right in the middle of the 2 towers there. It's a kill for Trashy, so 1 back here for SK Gaming Prime, forcing Kikis away as well. Showing that Maokai, with just his Rod of Ages, not unkillable at this stage of the game. There's a recall in mid lane. You might want to reconsider that, and he does. Now 3, make that 5 from H2K, stacking up in the mid lane. Minions are coming in. Corki's nowhere near. Top laner's dead. Jungler is also back in base. So this is a tower here for H2K. That's a fast rotation to mid lane.
Yeah, and very good turnaround. Just lost a few kills, lost the dragon as well. Now they got a kill onto Smitty, got the tower as well. Zeus was in the bottom lane, pushing it, so he wasn't there to wave clear. And they do kind of need him. He's the only wave clear they actually have.
So if you look at gold, 2.5k for SK Gaming Prime is the lead. If you look down the individual roles, top lane, and oh, there's a flash into the Cataclysm from Kikis. Gonna try and lock up Febiven, but it's pretty much regenning through it. Oh, they're gonna come in as well. Here is Trashy. Can they turn this one around? What the Fox will just Rift Walk away from it. In the end, no one dies.
Febiven just stayed in there and took it like a man. Smacked Kikis once again. Forced him to actually use the flash to get away. But now, no kills. 2 summoners used by Febiven, or at least the flash was used. Not sure if he used Ghost in this fight, it was from before. But SK Prime constantly looking to set up some picks here. Zeus is now in the mid lane, and they have sent What the Fox to this bottom into sit and farm. So they do have to wait there mid now to push it down, apply some pressure. And if H2K do send too many members to one of the side lanes, Zeus should be able to take this mid tower.
Odo and Smitty J, after all this, pretty much bang level on farm. This is obviously a big wave for Odo though, which will just accelerate him a little bit into a more advantageous position. He's also got 1,000 gold to spend if he does decide, or he's decided to recall here as well. TP is also available, although Dragon is coming up in 1 minute's time, so might want to reconsider if he uses that.
Yeah, and What the Fox is going to get his blue buff. So we will have it actually for the dragon fight, which is very important for him, just to jump around if they do want to chase as well. And SK Prime should look to secure the next dragon here. H2K might try and engage in. They do have... Actually, they don't have a lot of items on this Mundo just yet. There's a giant spell. I was about to say, he's been sitting on his spirit visage for a long time.
He's got a lot of items, they're just not really big ones.
Completed ones yet. Still might not be tanky enough actually to go in and survive all the bursts from SK Prime.
Kiki's having to slide away there. Obviously the last time that dragon came up resulted in 2 kills. Smitty J, meanwhile, going to take advantage of the fact that Odoamne did go back and would then have to walk in because his teleport would be needed for that dragon, which means that he can finish off the second turret of the game for SK Gaming Prime. The question is now, how does this dragon fight all go down? It's going to be started off and maybe forced away. There's the binding coming through. It's landed onto Zaitan, but they decide not to follow that one through. Trashy has no ultimate here either. Are they going to be able to get in? TP's going to come down. Dragon is pretty low here. Actually, it's going to start to reset. The fight goes down. Z's will get himself one. Can they find any more? Kikis goes low. Gets his Cataclysm off right at the end. And there's the diving from WonderFox. Levivan doing good damage back onto him. It's Smitty J though. As Z's is going to Valkyrie back over. And that will allow him to clean up. Double kill for him. Another one there for Smitty J. It's an ace for SK Gaming Prime. Only losing their jungler. And they get a dragon as well. And possibly a mid tower here if they're fast enough.
I just don't know why H2K want to teamfight at this point here. Dragon was started by SK Prime. We're just gonna see it again. AOD once again is there engaged because Trashy used the ulti to try and kill Kikis beforehand. So they don't have any real engage. Another reason not to actually fight. Odoamne TP's in as AOD walks in, but he just dies instantly. Support Morgana is not supposed to be your main engage. He's going to die instantly. And Zeez is just sitting here killing everyone in these fights to get 5 kills, get the dragon, and H2K once again. A bit like what we could say from SK Prime in the last game, you don't have to necessarily take these fights in the mid game, especially not against something like a Corgi, unless you feel like you can get the perfect engage or the perfect setup for the fight. Once your ulti from Rengar is gone, and you have to use your support Morgana to engage, it is better to just say, let's not take the chance. Give them the dragon, go back to lanes, let's wait for the next dragon, have our ulti ready from Trashy, and then we can try and actually set up a fight. Instead of going in a bad situation from the start, already have a weaker comp at the point, and just end up giving 5 kills.
Uh-oh, though, Z's is going to get locked up here, not quite enough range on the binding. WonderFox will use his Zhonya's, that will allow him to then rift walk once again. Flashes as well over the top, and then Mikhails was actually used on him from Zaitan. H2K now looking maybe to follow on with the Maokai presence off to the side, deciding against it. And yeah, to go back to that last point, yes, you give up the dragon gold, but if you fight and get ace, you're giving up a lot more gold than dragon.
Again, you can always turn around and say, yeah, H2K, they could outplay SK Prime in the fight, get a good lead, and just like instantly get into the late game point of like a Rise and everyone, which would have been awesome. But the fact you didn't have any engage because Trashy had used his ulti means you are in such a bad situation. You really need to completely outplay the other team to win the fight at that point. It didn't happen. End up giving the 5 kills. Now 7,000 gold behind. And still looking just to scale up and need at least 10-15 minutes more before they feel like they can be strong enough to now challenge SK Prime in like a straight up 5 versus 5. Unless again, they get a perfect setup, pick off a target with Rengar and Rise and Morgana, then they can actually get some kills and take it to chase SK Prime here. But now there's a Kassadin on 2 kills, you have a Corgi on 3 kills. And also a very, very soon-to-be very tanky Maokai picking up some kills.
Well, you say soon-to-be. Rod of Ages, Spirit Visage in there. He's pretty damn strong already. Obviously, we saw these Zhonya's coming out of WonderFox. He's got that now on top of his Rod of Ages. But the big, scary difference, I think, at this stage of the game, if you look at the AD carries, sees Infinity Edge now along with his Trinity Force. On the other side, it's a Trinity Force and a Vamp Scepter. And he's not got that much. He's got 800 gold to spend. So Yarnan is a pretty long way behind at this stage of things against that sort of powerful mid-game AD carry of Corki.
And these actually went second item Last Whisper in the semifinals after he got a few early kills on a Corgi, which didn't make a lot of sense. So I'm glad to see he's not doing the same today. Get the Infinity Edge, get the maximum amount of damage you can do. Because if you look on the side of H2K, there's no armor. So he doesn't have to really get a Last Whisper at all. Next item can be a Bloodthirster if he wants to, and just skip the Last Whisper for now. Might actually never need it because there's so much magic damage from both the Kassadin and the Maokai on the side of SK Prime that H2K might just invest into a lot of magic resist for the next 10 minutes or so.
So SKP gonna head back off into lanes here and do a bit more farming. Smitty heading towards that top side where there's a decent wave built up for him to go back and shot with. Already got that chain vest in there, so see where he's going next. Whether that'll be Randuin's, whether that'll be... yeah, we'll see on that one.
Well, for now, H2K trying to pick up all the farm they can while SK Prime is actually controlling the lanes here, just looking to push down the bottom lane. Go into mid now with 4 members, can push it down. You have teleport into the top lane, so it's a nice little move. Push out the bottom lane here. There's a lot of time before Olduramne can actually get onto the tower and kill it. Opens up for SK Prime to get a push in this mid lane. Yanin is not there, so we're gonna have to see ulti from Fibrin, which he doesn't have, to save the tower, and the tower's gone.
It's gone. Too much power there. Siege. Especially that Corki just smashing away at them from the backside. Couldn't really get in there and clear those waves. And it's a problem that they might find reoccurring here, H2K. Especially now as those side lanes are also going to be pushed in. SK Prime sending Maokai up top. They've got Kassadin down the bottom, so they're both going to have to be dealt with at some point. And perfect timing, really, with 1 minute to go until this next dragon comes up. Get those lanes pushing. Make sure that H2K have to deal with them. And just running back. He's going to dive on towards Z's. That was well timed. I think he actually saw him coming there thanks to the minions and was able to just wait until he appeared before he hit the Valkyrie to get away to safety. So, dragon in less than a minute's time.
It should be SK Primes. They're already going in, clearing some wards. All the lanes has been pushed up. Clear them, and then once the lanes actually start pushing back to SK Prime, the dragon should be dead, and they can move back to the side lanes, push them again, and start pressuring down all the lanes here. So as long as they control the side lanes, it will always open up for grouping up as 4 or 5 members in the mid lane, and then quickly move to one of the side lanes if they can't actually get to the tower in the mid lane. So we're just gonna see them keep pushing up the lanes all the time. And then at some point they will be able to get to a lane before H2K and take down a tower.
Well, they are definitely waiting on this dragon, and H2K are not waiting for it. They're in fact over with 4 men on the top side of their own jungle, so it's not really a problem. I mean, they can't even really rush in there and go straight towards Baron as some kind of risky trade-off there. SKP will get that safely. You can see the H2K just kind of running around together in their own jungle. Didn't really know what to do with their time. We actually saw second item for Kianan is that Blade of the Ruin King, so gonna try and use that for, you know, kiting away from Smitty J, from Kikis, who are both gonna be just diving straight on top of him.
Still, he's gonna rely a lot on the black shield from AOD to make sure he can actually kite, otherwise he's gonna get locked down, and then both Kikis and What the Fox will join in and just try and destroy him. But at least this time around, H2K didn't want to contest the dragon. Knew they are so far behind. Just have to give it up. So SK Prime, all due to the very last teamfight where they aced, H2K got the dragon as well in a solid goal lead. Smitty J might be caught out. Well, who'll be kidding?
Well, was a flash at least there, but it took 3 of them to get him down to about a quarter of his health. Super tanky Maokai. So at 313, over 200 CS already.
And that is 1 tank item completed.
Yeah. And that's going to be another one here in a second with that Randuin's. And then basically unkillable. At least until they have another 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes to get more items in there. We see that Z's himself, BF sword in after that last pickup of the Infinity Edge.
So let's see if SK Prime actually wants to do what H2K did to them in the last game. Start baiting out the Baron, maybe even start it. Smitty can tank it if he's not the guy split pushing, and then Kikis can tank it. And Z's can do the damage. And then you have What the Fox and Zaitan sitting ready. Not the same as Morgana and Ahri, but still, if they do manage to land a bubble, they can then jump out and engage onto H2K, pick up the kill, go back to the Baron. They are baiting it for now. Didn't actually start it. Not really fully baiting yet, because Z's had to take the red buff.
Oh, actually going to get a ward in, but they're going to dive towards Bebivan. He's got his flash available. Rune Prison went down. Kianan is going to hit his Blade of the Rune King there on towards What the Fox, who will Rift walk away. And good damage done onto the AD carry. Will SK Prime with that then turn to Baron? It looks like they will.
Notice how they forced 2 flashes here from the 2 carries of H2K. Kigis made sure Fibron had to flash away, and then What the Fox instantly jumped on Yanan, so he had to flash as well. And now they're trying to bait the Baron. Let's see, there's no scrying up on Yanan for some reason. Would have been very useful here.
Wow, Z's going to dive in there. That was very risky play, but they're so far ahead at this point. We see H2K being ripped apart. Yanan at the back, though, is doing some decent work for them. Z's does finally go down. It's now all up to Yanan. He gets knocked up. Oh, Anna doing a great bit of regen, and they're able to then finish off Kikis. They're turning this fight around, you know. Zaitan's going to go and die too. Oh, they can't be surprised. Good flash away from that one. Odo Amner will be able to walk out. In the end, it's a 3-for-3.
Yeah, and this was with SK Prime setting up the bait, and H2K just running straight at them here. Sees jumped in as the first guy, was forced to flash away later. Let's just see the fight again. Engage is already on it. Z's taking a lot of damage because he jumps in. Would even get stunned by AOD at the very end, and Odo Amner is onto him and can actually finish him. Meanwhile, Yana in the background here, actually left alone. The 2 tanks from SK Prime were like, okay, should we help our AD carry? Should we kill the enemy AD carry? Just running a bit back and forth. In the end, it's too late. They actually decide to move back towards these. Buys time for Yanan to get some kills and end up trading.
It was a very weird fight from SK Gaming Prime there. I mean, I understand that Z's wanted to get the kills, but I think Valkyrie into the middle of the team might be slightly too aggressive on that front. Probably expect that Jarvan or Maokai would be the ones that end up diving out of the Baron pit into the middle of them, but leaves them with a 3-for-3. They're close to a 10,000 gold lead here at SK Prime. And if you think back to the Summer 2 finals where they beat NIP, we were pretty impressed with how efficient SK Prime were when they had the lead. They closed out those games really quickly when they were ahead, when they felt like they had that advantage. Again, they're going to get some deep wards in. Are they going to try to bait this one out again? There's a ward off to the side there from H2K. One inside of Baron Pit as well. And they've seen now them backing off. H2K gonna come back in with a few more wards, surely. Get that vision down. There's obviously a sight stone on Morgana, so we'll see how that one all works. Morgana is recalling now.
No teleport for Odo Amner here. And What the Fox just went down to the bottom lane, started slow pushing it, didn't kill the entire wave, kept some of it, so now his minion will join in and start slowly building up, so it's going to be a big wave pushing down to the tower, and there's no teleport on the side for H2K, so now SK Prime moving back into this Baron here, and if H2K wants to fight, they might end up in the end losing a bot tower for it as well.
Prime nearly down to half HP, but here comes H2K. What are they going to do with it? Black Shield will knock everything off. What the Fox is getting blown to pieces. Oh, that's a good bubble though. He goes down anyway. Odo Amner also in trouble, but he's regenning up in the backside. They've managed to catch a lot of them inside of the Cataclysm. Kikis will knock one up. They've got rid of Rengar and Mundo, and they're going to keep going. Z's will fall, but it's now all on AOD, who will slowly but surely be finished off, and that will be another 8 here for SK Gaming Prime. Losing their mid laner, losing their AD carry. These 3 are gonna take Baron. It's gonna take them a little while to do it, but they will take it.
Alright, so let's see the fight again here. What the Fox, he jumps in. Very nice setup by AOD, forces the instant hourglass. Meanwhile, though, Odo Amner is all alone here, so he will, in the very end, go down. And now Zeez is left completely untouched, just standing there, smacking away on everyone. Let's get a good binding in the end. Febron goes on to him. Mikhails comes in, and he just takes him down at the very end, but it's too late. So What the Fox jumping in, using the hourglass, actually ends up just buying enough time for, yeah, they're still on Baron after the replay. Need a few more seconds. But just What the Fox going in, buys enough time for the rest of the team to actually kill or get Odo Amner so low they could just finish him off in the end. And there we go, SK Prime managed to get the Baron, and all the members actually respawn in time.
Longest Baron ever, but a Baron nonetheless for SK Gaming Prime. And now a 13,000 gold lead. This is where we'll see if they can impress us once again with how they close things out. They still quite a lot of towers up. I mean, they've only got the outer ring so far. They're going to be getting themselves a dragon on top of that last Baron pickup. It's going to mean a good chunk of gold. People to spend 1,000 on Kassadin, 2,000 for Jarvan, and 1,300 for Maokai, who's got himself another chain vest now. So if he wasn't tanky enough after that last Randuin's pickup, now he's going to be even more difficult to take down, and you kind of struggle to figure out who's going to be able to do that on the other side. It comes to the point where you have to somewhat ignore him, but that also just plays into his hands. He can do decent amounts of damage still. Of course, with that ultimate running, it just becomes harder to kill everyone.
Very, very true. Kick has actually decided to get a lot of HP instead of any attack speed reduction, even though he's against Bladed Drone King and % magic damage. So in that case, it's not gonna work too well for him. But he just wants a lot of HP because he wants to be able to survive against Febivan as well. And if you both need armor and magic resist, it becomes a bit hard to itemize, and therefore full HP is often the best. Probably not though against % magic damage and a blade.
Just want to point out as well that Chain Vest for Maokai is now a Thorn Mail. So, yeah, you can't kill him. Yanan probably won't even bother trying.
And that's it, you can't kill him.
Yeah, that's it. Bottom line is the tree will survive. So he's there all on his own in that mid lane. Just be careful, because Trashy's already shown that he's not scared of popping his ultimate and just diving on them, but SK Prime want this bottom inner turret. He's already down to half HP, and I think H2K gonna have to just back away. What the fuck's going very deep? Oh, uses Zhonya's, and that buys them enough time to actually pick up the turret. They're now going on towards Odoamne, who's the tankiest member on H2K. Not exactly the ideal tower target, but they are going to go in once again. Odoamne now regen up to full HP. And SK Gaming Prime don't manage to pick up any kills, but they broke finally that inner line of turrets by taking the bottom one, and actually going to back away now from the middle. The minion wave not really with them, and C's getting caught somewhat by Odoamne, but just turns around and puts the damage back. Kiki's also getting room prisoned up. There's a lot of slows and roots in there on that H2K team, making it hard to chase, but they don't really need to chase. There's turrets that they're after.
Yep. And we again see some very aggressive play from What the Fox. He just jumps into 4 people, gets his slowdown, pops his hourglass, and even flash after Odoamne here on Dr. Mundo to try and kill him, even though he was never even close.
Bit over ambitious, I think.
Yeah. Very aggressive play, however. What we like to see from SK Prime. Now looking to take down this tower. The top lane is sadly for them not pushing in their favor. So all the focus on this top on this mid lane.
Let's see if they can actually break through on it. Just want to point out that Maokai's got 277 armor.
And remember, H2K first picked Rengar. Instead of taking the Maokai, he wanted Rengar for Trashy. He's performing well on Lee Sin. Didn't feel like it was good enough apparently, or maybe they feel like his Rengar is just so good you have to first pick it. I've not been too impressed.
Well, he's definitely struggled in this as Trashy gonna pop his ultimate once again, and while he's just too far away, they've managed to catch out What the Fox here though. Febivan actually gonna be ghosted in. They're gonna go for Z's. Let's see if he can get those cooldowns off. No, not quite. Z's just able to
look at the top lane.
Knock him back there. There's 3 men pushing that top lane. That's the inner turret going. And Z's is just going to throw rockets their way, stop them from actually recalling. H2K either have to get themselves fast to top or turn around and try and kill off Z's. In the end, they actually did the first option and went somewhat towards that top lane. Odoamne big and strong enough to actually hold on to his turret, but feels like a bit of a foregone conclusion now here for SK Gaming Prime. It's just a case of how and when they managed to break through.
Yeah, so while they didn't actually get into the base of H2K, they got all the outer turrets now. Just kiting around here, making sure H2K was actually split up to the top tower. Can I go back? Baron is gone. So they can wait for Dragon, wait for the next Baron, take all of it, and then look to go down towards the base of H2K once again. And there's so much armor on Smitty. If SK Prime do manage to land like a bubble from Zaitan, or one member from H2K is out of position who's not Odoamne, we might see SK Prime just dive onto them on the tower, kill them. Have to be a little bit careful with Maokai, because you do actually reset the tower aggro with your W. A bit unlucky if it then turns on to your AD carry by mistake.
Which, I mean, it could be possible that Z's at that point had Valkyried in under the tower into the rest of the team. I want to get that extra damage down.
They need to burn damage as well.
Yeah.
Fly over them.
For now, though, I think we're going to be waiting for the next Baron to come up in the game. 1 minute 15 on that. He's got a void stuff. I didn't actually notice that. But yeah, tanky and got good damage as well, almost at 200 AP. And SK Gaming Prime, they're not going to be baiting H2K anywhere close towards the Baron for now. They're probably just going to sit back this entire time. Let's not forget that the last Baron was aced just before it by H2K, leaving 3 men alive to do a marathon Baron takedown, which took them about 2.5 minutes, I think, to actually finish that one off.
True. It paid off because the entire team respawned, got the Baron, and used it.
And Hjarnan, interesting enough, calling with 30 seconds to go. So H2K are like, okay, they've gone Dragon, guys. Let's hope that Baron respawn while they're down there doing that. It's not going to work.
No.
Because
now you might lose your inhibitor.
Yeah, you might lose your inhibitor because SK Gaming Prime are coming through. H2K, they've got to make that decision. Recall or walk? It's going to be a walk down in towards the base. Not sure that this is going to work out.
No, now they have to fight.
They can't really fight head on here.
Trashy bomb
SK Gaming Prime, what are they going to do with this one? There's the knockover. It's going to be Trashy that dives into the middle of the team. Zonya's used by What the Fox, and they're split up all over the place. So he's actually getting the Mikhail seal as What the Fox. Is he going to go down? No. Rip walks away from it. Kikis, meanwhile, has got 2 of them inside of his Cataclysm trying to hold on. They've managed to force them away. They're going to get it in him. Smitty J going all the way in towards those Nexus turrets. They kill off Trashy, and there is Z's Valkyrie in for the double kill, and they'll now go finish off the inhib and possibly finish the game. Only Febiven left alive.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna finish the game here. They got so far ahead from the mid game and just kept the lead going. They're gonna take it.
Well, those turrets not going to take much, and there is a bit of a vanity kill on towards Rise at the end. Gets them the 8, but SK Gaming Prime here hold on in the best of 5 for the summer playoffs. Kind of bring it back to 2-1. The question is, can they go all the way?
So, H2K in this game went back to the late game style, but for some reason, and we've seen it from both teams actually in this series, we saw it in the semifinals, we've seen it between NIP and SK Prime as well in the Challenger 2 final. Whoever seems to have the strongest mid-game comp, seems to always get the team fights they want, win them, get the big lead, and just finish the game before the other team can actually catch up and get to this late game point they want to get to.
Either that or the team with the late game comp takes fights in the mid game.
Right, exactly.
Where they're not strong enough, instead of just letting that Dragon go and not getting aced, as happened in this game. Few decisions need to be reckoned with there. Want to first talk about here in the post-game Rengar, because we mentioned earlier, first pick leaving Maokai and Kassadin, because they both weren't banned. So, I mean, he doesn't get much stronger, I think, for a first round of picks, actually, than Maokai and Kassadin.
No, I was very surprised, especially, again, because Trashy had performed well on Lee Sin. Still open. There's loads of junglers left. Jarvan, Vi, he's played it before. And yet he wants this Rengar so badly. Like, first picks it. Maokai ended up being, as always, very, very hard to kill, if not unkillable in these team fights. And clearly the pick and ban strategy of getting this Rengar here, hope that Trashy could carry them through their early mid-game points, didn't work out at all. And in the end, also because they take these team fights for no reason, where they don't even have the Rengar ulti. They still go for the team fight with AOD flashing in as Morgana support, dies in about a second, and then SK Prime is like, okay, we're just going to chase you now with a Kassadin, by the way, who will constantly chase you and slow you, and just kill, ace them, get the Dragon as well. 10,000 gold lead by like 28 minutes. Just some weird decisions. SK Prime did it in the last game where they had the late game comp. Now we just saw H2K do it. So I'm not sure what they're going to pick here for the next game, but it wouldn't surprise me to see both teams try and look towards this mid game.
And I wonder if Kassadin will get left up again here by H2K. They're on the red side this time around, which, you know, could put the shoe on the other foot almost with, you know, take the first pick Kassadin and say thank you very much for Maokai or maybe Nidalee, depending on obviously where these bans are going to be going in game number 4. Also, just want to touch on the bot lane, or the combo really. AOD and Hjarnan didn't have anywhere near the same impact this game.
No, it was a very different game, but just as a team, it was different. Febiven, he got the first blood, he got double buff in the mid lane, couldn't use it, got into team fights, lost the first ones, and nobody got rolling on the team. Trashy and Rengar didn't get rolling. nobody performed well or well enough to actually say, okay, this guy tried to carry his team, it didn't work out. Everyone just kind of tried to get in team fights, lost them again, and in the end, it just looks like SK Prime completely outplayed them, which they did in this game.
Also, we have to say for Kikis, last 2 games, or not this one, the previous 2 games that H2K Gaming won, we saw him diving in and instantly getting charmed and just blown to pieces. This game, they had that Rise in there who just couldn't burst him down quick enough, so managed to live a lot longer, this one.
Yeah, he tried at least to burst him down, but then Kikis could always flash out, and then the rest of the team joined in, won the team fights again. So they banned the Ari this time. Probably going to do the same here if they feel like they have enough bans, which of course is the big question. There's a lot of things they want to get rid of, especially in Italy as well. But we're going to have to see what they decide to ban. I do feel like it's a good idea because Febem was very good on Ari in the first 2 games. Just make sure he doesn't play it again.
Well, we're going to send it over to Shock to